In part one of my interview with Susan Kiamba, the CEO of Blue Elite, we looked at quarter-life crisis and parenting. In part two, we looked at the lives of these 20-year-olds, or rather people in their 20s, and the effect of social media on their lives. Now, we are looking at how we lead these people in our offices. These are the current crop of employees that we are going to hire. So we need to get it right with them. So I'm going to ask Susan how we can effectively manage people in their 20s. Take a listen.
Helpful. Good stuff. Now, these young people are the same ones that we are getting in the place of work, and managers have to manage younger people with different expectations who grew up differently. What advice, because I know you wear many hats, not only are you a lecturer, you're a career advisor, you're a coach, you're even a consultant. So what would you advise managers who are having to deal with these young people?
For the managers, set your expectations, like be clear, because there is this assumption that because we came to work, we should all know why we came to work. It's not that obvious. So you know why you came to work because you, for example, grew up in a different generation where it was hammered in your head, grow up, get a job, work hard. And when you go to the office, these are the things you need to do. It was obvious. Now the obvious is not so obvious. You literally have to tell someone you need to be in the office at 8 a.m. because we report to the office at 8 a.m. It's the rule. Because you'll have someone who tells you, I'm not a morning person. Okay, fantastic. Not everyone's a morning person, but in this office, we come to work whether or not we are morning people. So you deal with it. So it's getting very clear about what you're expecting from them and communicating your expectations. Do not assume. That's one thing I see managers doing a lot, and then they get very frustrated and they complain, saying that I don't understand how these people don't get these things. But they were not taught the way you are taught, that you go to work and the reason and this is how we behave. They were told you are special, you are a rainbow, and be a rainbow, do you. Now, if you told me I'm special my whole life, I'm a rainbow and I should do me. So I will actually do that because that's what we see. We are seeing people who have been told for a very long time, and I'm not denying that they are special. I mean, we are all special, but the messaging that the current entrants into the job market have been given is that they deserve better. They deserve more. I've had people say, I'm expecting a salary of 250,000. When your own manager doesn't earn 250,000, and I'm expecting this today when I actually show up for my first job because I am special, I deserve better. And so it's communicate your expectations. Don't make any assumptions about what they should know or what they know. Actually go ahead and tell them, this is how the office works. This is how we do our things. This is why we do what we do. And we expect the following from you. And then invite them to actually share any potential challenges they see in keeping time. Because one of the biggest complaints I hear and I've experienced with interns is something simple, timekeeping. So you'll find somebody's late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And every single day they'll tell you there's traffic. Okay. Have you recently moved to where you are staying now? No. So why is traffic suddenly really affecting you? If you know where you live, there's traffic, leave earlier. It's so simple. It's so straightforward. Like leave the office earlier. Or leave the house earlier so that you can actually get to work on time. But what is obvious to one person is not necessarily obvious to another person. So again, for managers, expect to do some degree of parenting at the workplace because you're literally going to have to handhold some of these people for the simple reason that they didn't get the skills developed in them earlier. The focus was more on letting them know that they are amazing and not so much on letting them fail, because through failure, you actually develop resilience. Sometimes the focus was not on seeing them work through something hard because parents didn't want their kids to go through the same hardships that they went through.
Yeah.
And yet we all need some degree of hardship to develop character. Otherwise, we just become people who will wake up and decide, I'll go back on my word because it suits me, or it no longer suits me. I said I'd be there, but I can't be there anymore because I'm tired and I need to sleep longer. Okay, that's fine, but you made a promise. So if you're going to make a promise, you need to follow through on the promise that you've made.
True.
So for managers, set your expectations, don't make assumptions, be prepared to do some degree of parenting. But then at the end of the day,
yes,
hold your team members accountable because they're adults. It doesn't matter what generation they were born. It doesn't matter how they grew up or what they grew up with. You still need to hold them accountable. Because when we come to work, we are all accountable to deliver our part. And you cannot allow one person to be the one who's always pulling down the rest of the team simply because they refuse to be a team player. Because many people are so good at writing, I'm a team player and I like to collaborate, but in reality, they don't. So unless you're held accountable, how else will you become a team player and how else will you actually collaborate?
Okay. Thank you very much. It sounds to me, when you talked about parents asking questions, it sounded to me like a coaching approach, asking questions without judging, asking questions without proposing solutions, trying to find out why they feel the way they feel. And now you've said that even managers need to know that they have a role, they need to take up a role close to that one of parenting these young people. So would you agree? I feel like coaching would be one of the solutions that might help in, installing new habits, installing new behavior, in a sense, developing some skills that they didn't get a chance to develop. What would you say about that?
So I completely agree. So I think the current generation is a good candidate for all the helping strategies. So coaching, mentoring, counseling, teaching, they literally are candidates for each and every one of those helping strategies applied differently at different times and in different ways. Okay. Because again, sometimes you need to give answers. Because somebody honestly doesn't know. And you could spend the whole day trying to dig deeper and ask questions and ask them in a different way. But in that moment, what they actually need is teaching. Okay. Or you can find in another moment, it's an emotional thing, it's psychological. So they actually need counseling. Then you find in another moment, they actually need mentoring. So I think it's a mix of all these approaches, coaching approach, the mentorship, the teaching, the counseling, as and when needed. Of course, that is a call for managers to switch hats even faster and to be even more flexible and open-minded. But I found trying to understand which approach to apply when is extremely helpful because then people don't always feel like you never give them answers. Because I know one of the things that happens commonly sometimes with coaches is because you get so used to probing and asking and inviting someone to reflect and dig deeper, you can easily be told, you never tell me what to do. You
never tell me anything. Yes.
Yeah, you never tell me anything. So there are moments when people need to be told, especially in the workplace, what to do or what the answer is. So I think it's finding, so it's always finding just that balance between these different helping strategies so that you can help somebody wherever they are. And for any manager who's out there, they'll get it wrong. I mean, no one gets it right all of the time. So there are days you will mentor when you should coach. There are days you will counsel when you should teach. And with time, you figure it out. But so I'd say get started rather than being too focused on, oh my goodness, is this a coaching moment? Is this a teaching moment? Is this a counseling moment? Is this, so just figuring out with time how to apply what and when to apply each so that you're actually helping this person become even more rounded and you're helping them to also support themselves. Because we don't want somebody asking us for answers every day for the next 10 years. because even children must grow. Even children must eat meat at some point.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Susan. One last question. Do you think quarter life crisis is real?
I think it's real. And I think it's become even clearer in this pandemic time, because we found people who are suddenly used to socializing. So in as much as people used to socialize in person but be on phone, now we don't have the benefit of sitting in a room and being on phone together. So we are on phone in different places. And that has caused a sort of a disconnect. It's also caused a sense of even more questioning as to who people are. Like, who am I if I don't have my friends around me? If we all can't sit here and take photos and post them online so that we can look like we are the bestest friends, though we don't talk to each other. So yes, I think the quarter life crisis is real. It's become even more real in the last 2 years as we've gone through the pandemic, and as we've found new ways of living, new ways of working, new ways of interacting, because they forced us to relearn and unlearn a lot.
Yes.
And they have also caused very many people to actually ask, do I have friends? Because if I don't see you and I never call you, are we still friends? And if I can't meet people in person and I get energy from being with people, then who am I and what happens to me? How do I get out of my own head? So I remember a couple of friends of mine saying that they were going star crazy at home because it's you and your four walls. You have no one to talk to.
Yes.
And there's just something that you can't replicate online that you can do in person. So they started intentionally calling up other friends and saying, hey, let's do a supermarket run together. Hey, let's just go and grab some lunch. We can social distance. We can do whatever it is we need to do to remain safe, because that was at the height of the pandemic. But let's meet, because I'm going crazy in my house by myself with these four walls. I've talked to myself until I can't talk anymore. So definitely, Tony, quarter life crisis is real. It's not imagined. It's happening. And I think if nothing else, the stories we keep hearing in the news of young people who are self-harming, young people who are taking, extreme measures to just be heard, that yes, there is a crisis and it needs to be addressed, and sooner rather than later.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your input. It will be of great value. Asante sana.
Welcome. A pleasure.